Oh, we're filming. Okay, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're gonna get the dash for the Corvette. And it's gonna be all carbon. Oh, it's brick out here, man.
It's brick out here?
All my New Yorkers will like that. Isn't that what you guys say in New York? It's brick out.
Oh, it's right
Lame.
there. It's the only one that's wrapped.
Oh, okay, sick. I thought it was a door.
It's the only one we kept wrapped because all the carbon Kevlar pieces are getting wrapped.
Okay.
Whereas the dash is carbon fiber and it's not getting wrapped, so it has to be in the best condition.
That makes
right?
sense. Yeah. This is exciting. Oh. There's the backside.
It is cool how they keep, because like in the stock dash,
Oh, hell yeah,
it has that
brother.
Corvette. That's pretty cool.
In case you forget what kind of car you're driving.
Just in case you forgot your New Balances at home.
The car needs to get wrapped up quickly, so Josiah's planning on getting the glass guys in soon, and we're gonna put the glass in the car. But before that, we want to install the dash. It would make it easier without the windshield in, because we can fiddle around and put these bolts in, and you know, stuff like that. Plan is to put this in before the windshield. And that's gonna be in a couple days, so we gotta hurry. So the dash is all fit up. We got it fully installed on the studs now. Had to do a little bit of trimming on the cage here. This used to go down there and around the A-pillars, obviously. But yeah, fits up in there and it looks great. Oh, I'm zoomed in. I got some fire suppression safety gear here. The tank that you saw under the car, and then now we got some aluminum lines that go to these little nozzles. Run the line in here, and then the carbon dioxide shoots out of there and then continues on and shoots out of another nozzle, and so on and so forth. So this acts as a bulkhead fitting too, so you drill a hole, 3/8 hole through a piece of metal, you stick that from the back, screw it on, it's fixed, and shoots white hot magma at you. No, it does the opposite. It shoots white cold CO2 on your fire, put out your flame.
So how many do we need of those in the car?
So we need 2 back here, Josiah was saying, 1 over the gas tank, 1 over the surge tank, 1 over the passenger footwell, 1 over the driver footwell, and probably 2 squirting at the engine. So that's 2, 4, 6.
These will face the engine. We come up from the tunnel into this nozzle, faces the engine, out through firewall, faces cockpit. So you have this on each side at the front. Engine, cockpit. Same thing on the other side, engine, cockpit. These can just be P-clipped to the firewall. They don't have to go through there. It can, it doesn't have to. And then the rear, we just need to probably just stick the nozzles pointing out of
I was gonna do them out of that
this.
ledge there.
If you can, yeah, absolutely. That'd be perfect. If you can get it up in there, that's the best. It just is a pain. It's not hard. The concept is easy. Doing it is hard, but wow, not a whole lot. Oops. Ah, it feels a little more like a cockpit though. Pretty cool. It's gonna be cozy. All right, I like it. I probably wouldn't have put these here, to be honest, but I guess they look cool from the front. These look nice. A lot of hate, but they look good. Those are gonna fail if you get in a crash. Listen, if I roll this thing over, the gussets are the least of my concern. Very sweet. Got my shifter. I think it's fine. It's honestly going to be really interesting because what I noticed at the Gambler, I've noticed this before, but basically the chicane and the filter and my point of view vision don't really work together that well. I can't see the cones until the cone is like there already. I didn't hit any, but it's very difficult to, as I'm pulling up to the chicane, I'm kind of like, okay, there's the cone, and I have to like mentally think about it, or else I can't actually see it at all. But we designed this drop pan so that it was actually an interesting idea. I kept trying to think of how to make the pan bolt to the throttle body and then have like kind of a slope down and then lower the whole thing. And it was gonna be this big fiasco of bending aluminum and welding stuff. And then I was like, the entire intake tapers out towards the heads. I'm like, okay, so if anything is a taper, that means if you set a certain size hole, it's gonna stop and seal at a certain point. So I did some cool CAD design stuff, mesh cut plane, did a few things, and made a drop pan exactly 4 inches below the throttle body that seals to the manifold. So I don't need to make any creative sheet metal bending. It's just a single plane plate. Intake goes on top, clips hold the intake to it. So it was a pain to design and make a hold down mechanism on my S14 to actually hold the pan to the body, because they give you this one threaded hole right in the middle, and it does a really bad job at holding a 19-inch by 13-inch filter. This is now probably the easiest thing I've ever made for such a complex problem, and I've never seen anything done like this before. But once you put it on, the seal is perfect. We're gonna weld on 2 little brackets on the bottom. It'll bolt here and here, put the throttle body on, and then the intake filter just goes right on top of this and it clips to the base. That's it. That's really it. It's super cool. I'm really happy with the design on that. That was gonna be a long job that turned into a relatively short job after the right ideas. So the dash is in, that's what we were just looking at. This is the HGK carbon fiber dash. Weighs absolutely nothing. Just between the doors, the dash, the roof, the trunk, the fenders and the overs, the bumpers, this car is gonna be dropping like 250, 300 pounds alone, just by those things that I just listed, which is insane, but the factory doors are ridiculously heavy. So this car is going to be super, super, super light. Excited to corner balance it. Right now, we're just finishing up the essentials for the car running, such as fuel lines, coolant lines, oil lines, brake lines, and fire suppression lines. Those are all on our list of things must be done. We did these brake line fittings, they're really interesting. So I designed this locking mechanism that actually holds the quick disconnect. I have it somewhere. I could show you how it works, but there's a machined ring on these that this plate lines up with, and then this basically clamps it in. So that's how our front end works. You can see it's got great protection because it goes through the upper. Great articulation, it barely moves. And then if we ever needed to pull a corner, disconnects like that. Really happy with that design. Both of these lines run up to our pedal box. Pedal box is here. We still need to P-clip and do a couple things with some of these lines, but basically our front master cylinder is connected to the front brakes. I have to finish the linkage system to this actual setup. Everything's going really well. We've got a couple complex things inside of the car where we need to go through a bulkhead into a proportioning valve, then into the inline master, then out of the master and back into another bulkhead, then to the back to the inboard brake setup. So we're working on that and finishing that. But once we got that, we can fill these with fluid. We can start bleeding the car, and then we can really see the brakes actuating and everything working. The clutch line is next. That was totally custom. The gas pedal, don't know if you saw that, made that from scratch, so it's got a fully custom made gas pedal in it. We're kind of skipping over these little details just because we're so busy on the rush to get everything done. But we will try and just like point it out, show you, and then move on to the next thing. It's a big push right now to be driving this car. We want to get a good portion of the season in this car so that we're well prepared for when this goes to Formula Drift next year with me driving it. The back is actually complete and looks really sharp. Come and take a look. Just a quick look. So the back has been checked off and written off as done. We've got our expansion tank for the coolant system going into a dash 10. The dash 10 runs to the top of our rad. So the highest point is our expansion tank and overflow. We've got our dash 16 lines running down to our electric water pump, which is located in this chamber. Our canisters mounted to the sway bar. This was cool. I just used ABS pipe, cut it in half, and had to machine a little ring in it to make it the right size, but that's really solid. For the reservoirs on our BC coilovers, these are also on quick disconnects. These two bolts right here actually hold the same bracket that you saw in the front, so if I wanted to remove this, disconnect, pull the caliper off. We are swapping this diff out tomorrow. That's going to be really exciting. You're going to want to see what a billet quick change looks like. Built by Bulldog, but it's an engraved FDF Race Shop diff brace. It's going to have FDF Race Shop on the back cover. It's going to have so many additional features over the winter stuff that we're going to be really excited to show you. We're getting it tomorrow, and we are going to swap this out. This will also be a really good test on how easy it is to swap, you know, with our tilting rad thing, and can this diff easily be pulled out the back, stuff like that. Fuel lines are fully run. We made this adapter to go into the stock fuel tank, P-clipped it and run it through the Nuke Performance filter, then the Nuke Performance ethanol content sensor, and into our Nuke Performance 3-liter surge tank where we have two DW400s in here. This is going to be the heart that pumps the blood, the fuel into the engine. And then we've got our lift pump in the tank that's going to be constantly filling that and giving us a good, let's say this pump failed, we would have a 30 to 45 second delay just from the reserve inside of the surge tank. So this pump really doesn't have to do a whole lot because our return line off of the fuel rails also goes back into the surge tank. So lots of fuel going into there constantly, giving us no delay on fuel, no starvation possible. Everything's tight back here except for this rear end. We're gonna leave it loose just because the fan's gotta be wired in and taken out and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of a pretty good overview to finish off this video on everything that's going on. The car is going to wiring, so I guess unless we can get content jack, we're gonna be seeing a bit of a delay between videos. We're gonna keep working today, tomorrow, Friday. Maybe we'll throw in some content from Thursday and Friday before it leaves. We might have enough from those 2 days to get one more video after this one before it goes wiring and then ultimately the dyno and stuff. So thanks for watching this episode. Sorry it's not covering like the how-tos and the what did I do and how did I weld it and all this stuff, but we're busy. Like, it's race season. We just got off a weekend, second place. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to it. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one. Dyno's coming soon. We're gonna be able to hear this thing. Really excited. Subscribe, tell your friends, share it around. Appreciate it. The channel's doing phenomenal, so this is a long extra. See ya. Bye. See you, Sean.